I believe.
We live?
Well, it says it's setting it up, but I think that it may already be live. So let's assume that it's already
on Zoom. Yep, says live. Hi. There's a little bit of a lag. There's always that lag.
Yeah.
Hello.
And there's some folks there. I want to set it up so that we are able to read comments when they come in.
Hey, thank you for showing up. If you are here to see a little bit about Brad and Christy's tapping life, you can find it right here. And also, we'll be talking about my book launch, and I'm here to see a little bit. And we're celebrating 25 years of marriage, so
we are
very awesome. So we're really excited. And I'm so once he's done figuring all this out, like. You get back to being fully present here. Don't you love Facebook Live? I wanted to share with you why we chose to do a Facebook Live on our 25th wedding anniversary. Like, why aren't we doing something really cool? Why aren't we having a big party?
Well, we were going to be on a European trip. Was the original plan. It's like, hey, for our 25th anniversary,
yeah, we'll do a big thing. And well, COVID, so we had to put that on the shelf. And instead of having a big party, we decided, I asked Brad if it would be okay if I had my book launch on the 27th, because I wanted it in time for Mother's Day and Father's Day, but also I thought, it's about building a legacy of love. And I think that's what Brad and I have been trying to do for 25 years. There's definitely
still working on it.
It's a work in progress, but that's why it's so cool. We're here working it out together. That's awesome. Okay. But, and he generously said, yes, we can do that now. Hopefully you've ordered this book. I am so excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, here. Building a Legacy of Love, Thriving the Seventh Generation by the amazing Christy and Brad Yates. Be sure to get it. You can find it on Amazon.com or just go to buildingalegacyoflove.com. The link is in the...
This is also a commercial break. So, but really, I've been on a couple of podcasts. I want to give shout outs to Laura Valencourt, Dr. Andrea at Brain Shape 2, and Kelly Mobeck for having me on their shows so I could talk a little bit about this book. I'm excited to be on a couple other ones coming up, because this is a topic that's been near and dear to my heart for a long time. And that's another thing that I wanted to share with everybody, is one of the ways that we've built a legacy of love in our family, I hope, is really supporting one another. So we just show up for one another. And a couple of years ago, Brad said, take the year off. Come on, come with me, travel. Thank God I did, because we haven't traveled a lot since, but we traveled. I took some time to really chew on this topic and figure things out. And then almost 3 years later, it came to fruition. So not an easy thing. Not that it was hard to write or there was so much, it was more like life kind of invades, doesn't it? So that's also part of what I talk about in the book, is life invades and how do you show up when that happens. So thank you. Thank you for letting me do all that, letting me play with you in Australia and all the other places we went to. That was super fun.
Well, it's always much more fun when you travel with me.
Yes, it is.
I enjoy travel, but it's, thank you, Kelly.
Hey. Hello. Thank you, Kelly.
It's, it's the biggest thing that I've missed over this year is that I love doing the live events and traveling around the world. And those times when you haven't been available and I'm traveling on my own, now there's a certain amount of freedom and I get to go do things that, family members might not want to do, like, hey, I'm going to go look at the house where David Bowie grew up.
Or I'm going to go to a museum and read every plaque on everything.
But then I find nice, but then I find myself in really cool places going, oh, I wish Christy was here.
Yeah.
So looking forward to
traveling again.
And you being available to travel with me.
Exactly.
being self-employed now as well. Hey,
Um,
Tracy. Hey, Wendy.
Yay!
So thank you all for joining
yeah.
us to celebrate the anniversary and the launching of Christy's
We should
book.
have opened our champagne right now and had everybody toast with us.
I
but we
thought
didn't do
about
it.
that.
We didn't prepare for that.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock back east. So
That's right. So if you have them,
yeah.
if you have the champagne, go ahead, open it.
Drink
Get
them if you got
going.
them.
Yes, go ahead.
But yeah, so thankfully, thank you to everyone who has already purchased the book.
Thank you
It's
so much.
already technically a bestseller.
Oh my gosh.
Once it gets on in the top 100 of a category, and it was up to, and I don't know where it's at now, but it got up to 33 on
midlife management. So managing your midlife.
Christy was already a best-selling author as a collaborator on Ignite Parenting, and from 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was fun.
But now you're a best-selling author in your own right.
And Brad, I think you're a best-selling author also. Didn't you write a book, Brad? I believe Brad wrote a book.
I wrote and illustrated The Wizard's Wish.
So you can find that too on Amazon. Oh my God, what else can we sell today? No, we really did come to celebrate. For those of you, I do want to just make another pitch about not so much the book, but just, boy, I hope people who are in the sandwich generation, if you know somebody who is, if you see it on your horizon, I see you, I feel you. I do not have your answers. You have your answers. And
answers,
I hope
but also a lot of direction to find the answers, because there are different answers for different situations.
And I want you to know, I wrote the book I wish I'd had, to kind of give me a heads up about what's around the corner, what I needed to maybe think about, but also to help me wake up to the fact that I needed to be aware of how I was showing up for my parents, and how I was showing up for my kids and my partner in life here, because all of that is part of the legacy of love, right? Our kids are watching us all the time, and they're learning, even though we're not being very intentional about those lessons. We do a lot of this teaching, but the real teaching is when they see us. And so the other bit about that is learning to take care of ourselves too, and learning to say, I need a break, or I need more help, or I need more information, and learning how to ask for that, really in powerful ways. And I wasn't always powerful. Sometimes I was just kind of bitchy, but I did it because I was frantic and I got through it. And now looking back, I wish I'd done some things a little differently. So I share that with you too. It is definitely, there's some, trust me, I didn't do everything I said we should do, but hey, that's what you do when you write a book like this, right? So
the book is not, I did everything perfectly, and here's how you can too.
No, life evolves, right? Anyway, I hope that people have those conversations early and often, because that was one thing that we learned from my parents. And I want to again thank Brad and my 2 kids, who I don't know if they're on the Facebook Live, but they're probably not, but they may watch it later. So Bailey and McGregor and Brad were just so supportive of me when I was going through this time with my folks. My brother Steve and my sister Kelly were also just super wonderful, and Brad's family was always there to cheer me up and hang out. And it was just that kind of thing, right? That's where my kids are learning that there are people who love them and that will be there for them. And even when mom is a raving maniac, there are reliable adults out there who could help. So that was really helpful. So thank you for helping me through it. Thank you for helping me to finish the book. So lots and lots of people are part of this whole journey. So it's been great. But maybe we should do another thing, which is along the lines of self-care, which is tapping, which is Brad's amazing talent, and along with so many others. I have 25 years. Okay, I could go on, but the tapping.
But you don't need
really.
to, because we want to make it for another 25 years. So
exactly.
No, but I just had a thought based on what you were just saying, that with so many things that we do in life, and whether it's being in the sandwich generation and dealing with our kids and our parents, or whatever anyone watching this might be dealing with, is that feeling of, I'm not doing it perfectly.
Right.
And, when you're trying to create a legacy of love, beating yourself up does not enhance the legacy of love. It's not love inside. And
exactly. It's not loving yourself, which is so much a part of being able to show up, right? Realizing that we do have moments of stress and strain and imperfection and right. And you know what? It's okay for our children to see that, as long
which
as
is good news, because they're gonna see it.
And we can go back and we can talk to them about that too. Like, I think that's one of the things that we did do well, was to go back and say to the kids, okay, I was not at my best right there. Yesterday, when I was freaking out, that was not my best.
You did that? I never admit that to the kids. I will defend. Oh no, I did that exactly as I meant to do that.
Dad was not at his best. No, I'm just kidding. But we all, need to acknowledge that. And just like we love them when they're not at their best, they love us when we're not at our best either. So anyway.
If the kids are watching, no, you guys are always at your best.
100%.
So for anyone who might be tuning in who is not familiar with my work and not familiar with EFT, so this is at its basic is a stress relief technique based on acupuncture. So we are going to be tapping primarily on our face and then chest. And so if you are new to tapping, I know that sounds a little weird, but there's a really good reason for doing it. So I hope that you'll join in and participate in this.
Just play along or watch along, and then you can watch it later and do it and try it in the privacy. Like if you're in a big group, you maybe want.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
If you've got a watch party going on, hey, it's Christy and Brad's Facebook Live. We got a watch party.
Everybody do it. Then everybody.
We're not even social distancing. We've got the whole neighborhood in here to watch this. Be careful out there.
All right.
We've done so many things together. We even got COVID together.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about. So let's tap on
the feeling of not doing it perfectly.
Yeah. Maybe I'm not doing it right.
Yeah. So go ahead and
okay.
Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And let it go. And just thinking about whatever you're up to in life, whether it's dealing with family stuff, or maybe it's, some other aspect of your life, your job, and maybe you're looking back at something that you did or feel like you failed to do in the past. Maybe it was 5 minutes ago, maybe in the distant past, and just allow yourself to go ahead and think about that and allow yourself to be aware of what's going on inside. Allow yourself to be aware of what you're feeling. And that part of you that might want to criticize yourself, that part of you that has learned, the way to modify behavior is to be really critical and maybe even yell at myself. So just allow yourself to be aware of that. And notice how willing you are to forgive yourself. And write that on a scale of 0 to 10. Don't judge yourself harshly if the number is lower than you'd like it to be. Just allow yourself to be aware of where that's at, and see what we can do to raise that number. So go ahead and open your eyes. And again, if you're not familiar with EFT, just tap where I tap and repeat back what I say.
Do you want me to repeat back, or as a model, or do you want me to just?
Let me think carefully about how to answer that on my 25th anniversary. I want you to be quiet.
I'll model the first round and then I'll stop.
Yeah,
okay.
No, that's good because it helps me to know how long to go for. So
we're just tapping on the side of our hand. Okay.
Even though I didn't do it perfectly.
Even though I didn't do it perfectly.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
I choose to love and accept myself anyway.
Even though I'm not doing things perfectly.
Even though I'm not doing things perfectly.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
I choose to love and honor myself anyway.
Even though I sometimes get it wrong.
even though I sometimes get it wrong.
And maybe I'm far from perfect.
And maybe I'm far from perfect.
And yet I have all this training
And yet I have all this training
telling me that I should be perfect
telling me that I should be perfect
at all times
at all times
if I want to prove that I'm good enough.
if I want to prove that I'm good enough.
And even though I don't seem to be proving that,
And even though I don't seem to be proving that,
I choose to deeply and completely
I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and accept myself.
love, honor, and accept myself.
Maybe anyone else who might be involved in these feelings.
And maybe anyone else who might be involved in these feelings.
I'm not doing it perfectly.
I'm not doing it perfectly.
And I haven't always done it perfectly.
And I haven't always done it perfectly.
In fact, I've rarely done it perfectly.
In fact, I've rarely done it perfectly.
Part of me might say,
Part of me might say,
I have never done it perfectly.
I have never done it perfectly.
And part of me says,
And part of me says,
I need to beat myself up for that.
I need to beat myself up for that.
I need to criticize myself harshly
I need to criticize myself harshly
because that's going to motivate me to do better.
Oh, did you want me to keep?
Oh,
Because that's going to motivate me to do better. I'm not doing it perfectly.
I'm sitting there looking at the screen. It's like, oh, you got muted. Your microphone went, oh, you're right there.
Even though I'm not doing
Even
it
though I'm
perfectly.
not doing it
Even though
perfectly.
I'm not doing it perfectly.
And I'm supposed to criticize myself
And I'm supposed to criticize myself
because that's how I'll motivate myself to do better.
because that's how I'll motivate myself to do better.
Because that's what I learned as a kid.
Because that's what I learned as a kid.
When I didn't do things perfectly,
When I didn't do things perfectly,
some well-meaning adult
some well-meaning adult
pointed out how I didn't do it perfectly.
pointed out how I didn't do it perfectly.
And sometimes they did it harshly
And sometimes they did it harshly
so that there was no uncertainty
so that there was no uncertainty
about how I failed,
about how I failed
so that I would do it right.
so that I would do it right.
All this need to be harsh with myself,
All this need to be harsh with myself,
to modify my behavior.
to modify my behavior.
And I've had a lot of practice at this.
And I've had a lot of practice with this.
Am I perfect yet?
Am I perfect yet?
How's this working?
How's this working?
Probably not as well as I think,
Probably not as well as I think,
not as well as I hope.
not as well as I hope.
So I'm open to the possibility
So I'm open to the possibility
that I can try compassion instead.
that I could try compassion instead.
Even though I don't do things perfectly,
Even though I don't do things perfectly,
I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
Even though I don't do things perfectly,
Even though I don't do things perfectly,
I choose to acknowledge
I choose to acknowledge
that I'm still worthy and deserving of love.
that I'm still worthy and deserving of love.
Even when I totally miss the mark,
Even when I totally miss the mark,
which I sometimes do,
which I sometimes do,
I'm still worthy and deserving of love.
I'm still worthy and deserving of love.
And that starts with me.
And that starts with me.
And I'm giving myself permission
And I'm giving myself permission
to just love the heck out of me,
to just love the heck out of me,
even when I'm failing.
even when I'm failing.
Because withholding love
Because withholding love
is not going to improve my performance.
is not going to improve my performance.
Letting go of this idea
Letting go of this idea
that I need to be harsh on myself
that I need to be harsh with myself
when I'm not being perfect.
when I'm not being perfect.
And I'm loving myself right now
And I'm loving myself right now
in body, mind, and spirit.
in body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. Go ahead and close your eyes and say, I can forgive myself for not being perfect. And rate that on a scale of 0 to 10, and hopefully that number has come up. And if there's any thoughts, questions, comments, feel free to write them in the chat. Let us know you're out there.
So one of the things that I love about EFT is that it's very specific to what you're feeling and thinking. And when you start talking and tapping, once you know the points, And just that little recipe of starting with the karate chop on the side of the hand and then tapping the different points. When you zero in on that feeling, and you really talk about it as explicitly as you can, the relief is sometimes immediate. Other times you might need to peel the onion a bit, right? In fact, sometimes I start to tap and I'll find that what I thought it wasn't it. And it starts to become apparent to me. And I just take it and I go there with it, right? And that's it's so flexible. It's so easy. There are times when I need to go into a meeting that I know is going to be really stressful. And I will, in my office, I may just do a quick round and maybe I'm not talking out loud. Maybe I'm just saying it in my head, but I'm zeroing in on that, or just even very positively tapping in peace. I'm going to show up to this meeting for the best of everyone, for the good of all that are here today, so that I just try to show up with as much compassion and service as I possibly can. And it really helps me, because otherwise I'm going in all tense, and I know I'm tense. I'll say this when I'm doing self-care workshops. I know I'm tense when my earlobes are touching my shoulder. Yeah. So I have to kind of put them down, get
when you're wearing your arms as dangling earrings.
So when I'm feeling more like, I've got that neck again, it helps me. So, and it really, and there is a lot of evidence for this. So if you are somebody who needs to see the science, please go to Brad's website, tapwithbrad.com. And there's a whole section in there on some research that's been done that's been incredible. Peter Stapleton down in Gold Coast, Australia, has done some phenomenal studies using fMRI, but just lots and lots of, really building the evidence out there for this. And so it's being used with veterans and being used with children in schools and survivors of trauma. It's great for trauma work because it is so quick and clean and precise at times. So
thank you for the great comments. It's glad to know. So Diana, I thought I was feeling great.
Great, Tracy. Maybe that's, I hope that's positive. So it's very intriguing, huh?
I always say nothing's so good it can't get better.
Right.
So that's, so often we think of EFT as a technique for, well, it's something to use when something's bothering me. Like it's a cleaning technique, like a vacuum cleaner. So why would I use the vacuum cleaner if I don't see dirt on the rug? But we're so accustomed to living at a level below what's possible for us that there's almost always another layer of something, something that can feel better, some level of performance. And we always have ambient stress because we're in the information age. There's so much stuff that, and the stuff certainly on social media, which does not necessarily contribute to a legacy of love. It contributes to a legacy of stress and anxiety and all this stuff. And
Brad and I have done a couple Facebook Lives we did them over the summer last year, really at the beginning of all the COVID stress, and we didn't know how long this was going to go. We need to do another one on just that whole, the new word I learned was languishing. Well, I knew the word languishing, but we are all languishing. We are languishing right now. We're not feeling our full alive selves because it's just going on and on and on. And no matter how you feel about, all of this, things aren't the way they were. And so it's difficult. And being a person who works in schools, I see children struggling so much and parents struggling. And even though kids might be coming back, they might not be coming back as much as parents need them to so that they can get back with their life. It's just not all coming together as quickly as we would all want. And so it makes it frustrating, and there's been terrible loss. And one of the Facebook Lives that we did was around grief, specifically around some of the sandwich generation issues, because people who are elderly and senior citizens were at high risk, and there was a lot of loss and grief. And every day I'll read a news story somewhere about somebody who finally got to see their grandparents, or the grandparents got to see their children and their grandchildren, and just being able to hug somebody after so long, has been life-giving for so many people. So these things that we took for granted, perhaps, got put on hold. And one of the most powerful things about self-care is also being able to hug and touch someone that you love, right? And so when grandparents have been unable to do that, parents have been unable to do that, it's just been really hard. And so I want to do just a very quick round on that we can do this. We can get through this. We'll get there. I'm not sure how to say that. I want to say something about we are able to conquer this.
Yeah.
Somehow. We will get through there. We don't know yet how, when, what, but I do believe that there are, I'm optimistically pragmatic. I think things will come out, one way or the other, things are going to work out, and then we are going to make them be best. So that's kind of what it is.
Things are going to work out one way or another.
Not all is lost.
It's allowing ourselves to be in our best place. Thank you for all the anniversary messages. When we are in our best state of mind, that's when we're able to create the best outcome. So we have it within us to make a great outcome, and so we want to clear the stuff that gets in the way. How do you approach the parents of children who are grieving and being bullied?
It's a great question, Lisa.
And I have a video on being bullied, and that's one of the first ways is to work with the child and use tapping to clear the feelings that are coming up, because it's so easy for a child to take that in and think it means something about them, that they're not good enough.
Right, which many of us did, and that's where we are always,
still do sometimes.
And so we're overcoming that too, and so it's important. We did talk about grief on one of those, so we can kind of just do kind of walk through this and just looking at.
So when you were talking earlier, and the word frustration came to mind, and as soon as I thought, oh, we should do some tapping on frustration, then you said the word frustrated, because after 25 years, that often happens. Sort of on that same wavelength, where we finish each other's.
Yeah, sentences. Okay, got it. No, I knew where he was going with that. Okay.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be here all evening.
Just comedy people. Okay. All right.
So close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And first of all, just get in touch with whatever sense of frustration you might be feeling. It may be frustration over this whole past year. It may be frustration over things going on in the world. It may be frustration over things going on in your own life. It may be frustration with things going on with your parents, or frustration with things going on with your kids, or your spouse, or whatever it is. Just allow yourself to be aware of any sense of frustration that's going on inside. Rate that on a scale of 0 to 10.
With 10 being
10 being super frustrated.
Super frustrated. So we want to bring the number down.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes I switch it up and it gets confusing sometimes. Just making sure people are paying attention. So allow yourself to be aware of what you're feeling in your body, and open your eyes. And let's see what we can do about that. Even though I feel all this frustration, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I feel so frustrated, I choose to love and honor myself. Even though I feel all this frustration, with all the things that have been going on, and I'm done with them, but they don't seem to be done. And even though I feel all this frustration, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe anyone else involved in this. All this frustration. All this frustration. I feel so frustrated about so many things. Maybe things that are going on right now. Maybe things that have happened in the past that I haven't fully resolved. And even though a certain event may be over, part of me is still dealing with it and still feeling frustrated. When will I be done with this? When will other people be done with it? Because maybe it feels like it's other people's fault. A lot of the frustration that I feel is because I feel powerless to do anything about it. I'm waiting for somebody else to figure it out. I'm waiting for the government to figure it out. I am so frustrated waiting for them. All this frustration. I keep thinking that I need somebody else to do something. Or stop doing something before I can feel peace. And that's really frustrating. I wonder who that could be. And I choose to feel empowered. I choose to be open to the possibility that I don't need anyone else to change before I can feel peace. And as I allow myself to feel more peace, I become more clear-headed. And I have a better ability to figure things out. A better ability to find solutions. Still.
Well, I'm wondering if it was the books.
There are some things that other people need to figure out. But there's a lot that I can figure out. There's a lot that I can do. So instead of sitting here being frustrated about what other people are doing,
Mm-hmm. What can I do?
I'm giving myself the freedom to do what I can do. And I'm doing that right now. Allowing myself to clear my frustration. Allowing myself to feel more peace. Which allows me to feel more love. Which helps me build a legacy of love. Which helps me thrive in whatever situation I'm in. As I allow myself to feel more peace, I give myself more room to thrive. And to be more hopeful. And maybe I can teach other people how to tap. or tell them to get Christy's book. And as more people get the resources, we all have greater freedom to do what we can do. And instead of being frustrated, we get busy. I'm clearing what stops me. Clearing my doubts. Setting myself free to make positive changes. Feeling that freedom in body, mind, and spirit. Take a deep breath. Just close your eyes and just allow yourself to be aware of what's going on in there. And get in touch with that frustration, and hopefully that number has come down. And again, peeling layers of the onion, you may be more clear about what's been frustrating you. And you may have more awareness of, oh, I know what I could do. I've been sitting here waiting for this, but I could take action on this.
Well, and also realizing that the only person we can change is ourselves, right? So it might just be the way I choose to look at something or view something, to not over assume. This is a big one for me. Not assuming that everyone's out to get me, kind of thing, even if they are. But I'm just saying, but just assuming, trying to assume. And for the most part, people are trying to do the best they can. We may not agree on what the best thing is, but
that's why Walt Whitman said, be curious, not judgmental.
Yeah, right.
When you see how other people are behaving, it's like, what's going on inside their head? What is their programming that makes them think that's the best thing to do right now?
Right.
And real quick, just tell me, this is the alternative serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity.
God, grant me the serenity.
To accept the people I cannot change.
To accept the people I cannot change.
The courage to change the one I can.
The courage to change the one I can.
And the wisdom to know it's me.
And the wisdom to know it's me. That's an excellent one. So I'm expecting an order of a bunch of author copies. So he's going to see if that's what just got dropped off. But I don't know. It could have just been, somebody wanting to talk about something else. But so anyway, I love doing some, oops. Oh, hey.
Somebody brought us a cake.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, you know what? I bet you this is our neighbors. We have amazing neighbors. We have
Rusty and Dick. So
Rusty.
Shout out live on Facebook. Thank you, Rusty and Dick.
Super cool. Yeah, so fun. But I don't, where was I before the cake? The cake got me going. The cake totally just derailed me.
As cake often does.
As cake does that. Anyway, well, so anyway, just that erase. Okay. I have done a couple things, and what I wanted to say is, right now I'm busy. Listen, I had to get busy getting the book done, and then getting it. I learned so much in this process, so it's just been really a humbling eye-opener. But I'm also building out some things on my website so that I can offer some strategies for folks and some easy to do solutions, strategies. And one of them is EFT. I also really love just kind of walking through some easy breathing techniques. So there's some really great different ways to do breathing. I do this with kids a lot. When I do it with kids, I do it with fun, different things to get them interested in it. Like one of the things I love is the Hoberman Sphere. So you've probably seen those things that kind of grow up, get big like this, and then they come back together. I use those to show breathing. You can put a pillow or something on your belly and watch your belly rise. But as adults, we're always breathing, right? Or else we wouldn't be going on, but we're not doing that deep breathing enough. And so I do have a couple videos on deep breathing. I will be putting up some videos on with some EFT, but also some other kind of quiet meditations, because sometimes you don't have time to go somewhere and get the self-care you need. And so it's important to be able to have some tools at your hands ready to go. And that's what's really effective, I think, about having some videos or something to listen to. I love the Calm app. If you have that, that's a great one. I'm not doing that one as much as I should anymore because I've been a little busy. But those are some things. I definitely always send people over to, as much as I love EFT and have been trained to do it, Brad is the gateway to all things EFT. So
I'm the gateway drug to EFT. That's my job on YouTube.
just to introduce
Hey,
people to
come
that.
here. Want to try something?
I've got a technique for you. So anyway, I will be putting some things like that out there. So hopefully that's helpful. And
Because the legacy of love starts from within.
Right, loving yourself. Right. I went on an amazing. I want to give a shout out to Ali Goff and the Baller program, Badass Women Leading Retreat. She put together this group. It was on self-care. It was amazing. And so there were some tremendous coaches there. Kelly Mobeck was there, who was very instrumental in helping me get this book done. So thanks for kicking my butt there. She just really got me going. So that was really wonderful. But seriously, find groups of people like this who are up to something, who are up to helping you be your best. So it's whatever you're up to, big, little, medium, we all need support. So we got to find people who are life givers. That's another thing that I do talk about in the book. There are sometimes we have people who just are not life givers, right? They are our friends for any number of reasons. They could be family members, but it's looking at people who can give you the joy, the support that you need. And especially when you're stuck in these difficult times where you've got everything going on, kids, parents, your job, you need people who are supportive for you. So find those life givers. You don't have to, sever ties completely, like, oh, you're dead to me now, kind of thing. But sometimes you do. Yeah. So I want to say, somebody who's really toxic in your life and abusive, listen, do what you can, and then you are going to need your friends and family to support you through that. But sometimes other people just aren't aware that they're not able to be givers. It's just what's going on for them too. So there were people in my life that could be work people, could be, friendships, these friendships that we build in our neighborhoods, through our kids, through different things. And so sometimes you have to say, I need to take a step back because I need right now, and I don't have it to give to you. So that's an important skill. So
putting the oxygen mask on your own face first.
Oxygen mask on first.
And
fill that bucket.
The other analogy I use is, you are the goose that lays the golden eggs. Take really good care of that goose.
Who said that?
I said that.
Oh, you said that. Okay. It was really good.
Yeah, pretty good, huh? Always the note of surprise.
We have to write some of these things down, Brad. There might be a book in that.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to waste anybody's time. If you have any questions, I would love for people to ask any questions. Otherwise, we
wasting time. We're sharing love. We're building a legacy of love. And I wanted to say on one of the points you made is, there is that frustration sometimes about the people around us thinking that we need something. And sometimes that's where we get stuck. Sometimes it's thinking we need an apology for someone, or we need somebody to do something. And sometimes we don't need that, and we get stuck in there. So, and that's a tappable issue. That's something you can say, even though I think I need this person to do this, obviously there are some things that need to get done, but we get so hung up thinking, I need this person to do it.
Right.
And some people are not able to give us what we think we need. And so then we get stuck, and we may then think it means something about us, like, oh, well,
Right.
you know, if I was good enough,
Right.
you would do this for me.
Right. And we have these expectations then that cannot be met because we can't control it, right? So again, if we're putting those expectations on somebody else, like what I really need to be able to move on is for this person to say this to me. And I can spin on this one. I need this person to acknowledge me. I need this kind of thing. Then we're really dependent on somebody else. And that's risky. Whereas we can acknowledge ourselves, number one, and we can find people that we can talk with who can help us to get over that and move on, because that expectation of somebody else coming in to do it, it's really tricky.
We really get stuck then, and the universe has limitless supply of whatever we need. Whatever you need,
yeah,
the resources are there, but we get stuck. You know, there's plenty of other doors, but we get stuck at one particular door thinking, I need it to be this door. I need it to be this person. I need this person to say this thing or do this thing. And meanwhile, we're missing out on other opportunities. And it's not because we're bad or stupid. We just have been programmed like this. We've been taught this. And that's one of the places where EFT is helpful, because when we're looking at trying to do things differently, and that's the thing is, in Christy's book, it's looking at things in a way that you may not have seen them before. And there's a part of us that resists something that's new. Even if we may believe that it might work, there's still a part that says, I need to do it this way. In the sandwich generation, it may be dealing with your siblings about how to take care of your parents. And we may have a long-standing resentment against a sibling, and thinking, okay, you know, for mom and dad to get the services they need, we're going to have to agree on this, but I'll be darned if I'm going to talk to so-and-so because of this thing that happened 20 years ago. And we have that resistance. And again, not because we're bad or stupid, but because we have programming about how to respond to situations and people. And so we have a stress response when we try to challenge that.
Absolutely.
And this is how we clear that stress.
And oftentimes, I know when you're tapping, you'll talk about, you know, I maybe got that in childhood. And I think we get it maybe in childhood, maybe from our parents, but other places. Like I think right now what we're seeing is a lot of frustration and toxicity around social media. Now, don't get me wrong. I participate in social media, and it's been great on many, many levels. So I don't think it in and of itself is a toxic, horrible thing. And
that being said,
but I don't even see it as a necessary evil. I feel it's that we see everything and we hear everything, and it's very hard to prune that and not feel resentment sometimes. So we have to be willing to prune. And
where's that social media filter of only positive, loving things get through onto my feed?
But it's amazing to me because also, gosh, just thinking growing up, I mean, we didn't know about anything in real time. And now we see everything in real time. So is also very oppressive. Again, it's not media's fault. I don't necessarily see that. I think it's how do we navigate and learn that's not going to go away. So how do we learn to deal with that, right? That's where we have to kind of look at I never have my phone in the bedroom. The only time I ever have my phone in the bedroom is when maybe Brad's out of town, or if something's going on with one of our kids and you know, I am expecting a call or whatever, but I need to have all of that out of the bedroom when I go to sleep, because I know that I'll see it in the morning. You know, how did I get through how many years without that? So it'll be okay. So I have to put that away. And that's something that I think is really good for me. And
great self-care.
And so we take care of that way. But anyway, I'm sorry, I went off on a whole nother preaching tangent on media or whatever, but my point is I'm trying to be more conscious now that we have adult children of how we talk with them and thinking back to, and I think we did a fairly good job when they were younger, because they still call us and talk to us, and it's not just asking for money. So that's really awesome.
They're going to FaceTime with us in just a little bit
yeah,
to wish us a happy anniversary.
But it's also now, like, what are they seeing? And I'm excited that they're seeing their father just sort of really take on his unique business and make something huge out of it. And it's been great for them to see.
Seeing their mother publish a book.
And then seeing, I mean, I think that's been good for them, and what a great thing. And so that's all, intertwined there. So if you're up to something big and you have kids, go for it. That's awesome. You're starting your own business, go for it. That's amazing. You're creating something, you're an artist, you're running for office and want to make changes, you're running for the school board, whatever it might be, your kids are seeing that, and they're just going to learn so much from that. And you can still be a good parent and be up to good big things. So I did want to say, let's do a quick round. We've got a little bit of time. I want to do a quick round on getting up to big things, because I feel really proud of myself that I did something I've always wanted to do. And I want to keep doing it. I want to keep writing and find new things to write about and build more content for this group. But also just getting up to big things is really important in the world. And it doesn't have to be huge. But it's okay, and do it. If you're scared, do it anyway. So that's what I want to say. Can we do one on that? Let's do one on that.
Absolutely. I was thinking virtually along this exact same line. So
see,
talking
that's why we're
about being your best self,
Yeah.
and showing up as your best self and sharing what your best self has to offer, whether it's a book or, just
and everything's
raising a
big.
child.
Everything's big. Raising
It all matters.
a happy kid
all
is a huge job.
Right
Right about now.
There's
it's
that
huge.
Emerson quote about what success is.
Right,
Raising a healthy child is.
Mhm.
So close your eyes, take a deep breath. And ask yourself, what would I do if I weren't afraid? What big thing would you do? How could you show up as your best self in the world? Which benefits you, it benefits your parents, it benefits your kids, it benefits the world at large. And just allowing yourself to be aware of, if I weren't afraid, I would do this. I would write a book. I would create a YouTube channel. I would
start a business, join the PTA, go back to school.
Whatever it might be.
Right.
And so as you imagine that, check inside, notice how you're feeling physically and how you're feeling emotionally. And notice where you might feel some resistance, where you might feel some fear about that. Notice what thoughts, beliefs, or memories might come up as to why you couldn't or shouldn't do this. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Open your eyes.
And I'll repeat after you this time, because I really want to embed this one. Okay, here we go.
People often ask, do I have to say the words out loud? And when you say, tapping silently is beneficial, but when you say the words out loud, you tend to be more emotionally engaged.
Yes.
And so it can be a more effective technique. I'm going to use the positive opening phrase. So, I choose to be my best self.
I choose to be my best self.
And I choose to love and accept myself.
And I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to be my best self.
I choose to be my best self.
And I choose to love and honor myself.
And I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to be my best self.
I choose to be my best self.
And I choose to see.
And I choose to see
what my best self can do.
What my best self can do.
What I can create in this world.
What I can create in this world.
What a difference I can make.
What a difference I can make.
I choose to be my best self.
I choose to be my best self.
And I choose to deeply and completely.
And I choose to deeply and completely.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
Maybe anybody else involved.
And maybe anyone else involved.
Maybe everyone else in the
maybe
world.
Everyone else.
Because they're all going to be affected by what I'm up to.
Ripple effects. Yes. Because they're all going to be affected. Okay, here we go.
I choose to be my best self.
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 And I choose to see.
and I choose to see
what my best self can do
what my best self can do
for my own benefit,
for my own benefit,
for the benefit of my family,
for the benefit of my family,
for the benefit of the world at large.
for the benefit of the world at large.
Because I am not an accident.
Because I am not an accident.
There's no mistake me being here.
There's no mistake me being here.
I'm here for a reason.
I'm here for a reason.
I am a gift to this world,
I am a gift to this world,
and I have gifts and talents to share.
and I have gifts and talents to share,
And I'm already sharing them to some extent.
and I'm already sharing them to some extent.
I choose to be open to the possibility
I choose to be open to the possibility
that I might be able to play bigger,
that I might be able to play bigger.
might be able to make a bigger difference.
I might be able to make a bigger difference.
Not that I have to.
Not that I have to.
There's not some criteria that needs to be met
There's not some criteria that needs to be met
in order for me to be good enough.
in order for me to be good enough.
I'm already good enough.
I'm already good enough.
The fact that I'm still here,
The fact that I'm still here.
the fact that the universe says yes
The fact that the universe says yes.
every time I inhale and ask for oxygen.
Every time I inhale and ask for oxygen.
That's the universe saying, you deserve this.
That's the universe saying you deserve this.
I'm acknowledging that I'm worthy and deserving.
I'm acknowledging that I'm worthy and deserving,
So I can get over that
so I can get over that
and get busy.
and get busy.
What do I have to offer?
What do I have to offer?
What could I do
What could I do
that would make a positive difference in this world?
that would make a positive difference in this world?
Is there a book I've been meaning to write?
Is there a book I've been meaning to write?
A video I've been meaning to shoot?
A video I've been meaning to shoot?
Some project I've been meaning to start?
Some project I've been meaning to start?
And it may be something simple,
And maybe something simple,
and it'll make a difference.
and it'll make a difference.
Everything that I do
Everything that I do
makes a difference.
makes a difference.
What kind of difference do I want to make?
What kind of difference do I want to make?
I choose to make a really positive difference.
I choose to make a really positive difference.
And darn it, I'm just the person to do it.
And darn it, I'm just the person to do it.
And I'm clearing any doubts about that.
And I'm clearing any doubts about that.
All these old ideas
All these old ideas
about how I don't have much to offer.
about how I don't have much to offer.
And I'll let other people play big.
And I'll let other people play big.
And I'll just hide in my comfort zone.
And I'll hide in my comfort zone.
Not because I'm bad or stupid.
Not because I'm bad or stupid.
Not because I'm weak or lazy.
Not because I'm weak or lazy.
But because I have some old program
Because I have some old programming
telling me that I need to stop myself.
telling me that I need to stop myself.
Telling me that I need to play smaller.
Telling me that I need to play smaller.
And I'm processing that.
And I'm processing that.
And I'm allowing myself to see
And I'm allowing myself to see
those are misunderstandings.
those are misunderstandings.
I am a magnificent child of the universe,
I am a magnificent child of the universe,
worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer,
worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer,
and capable of amazing things
and capable of amazing things
in body, mind, and spirit.
in body, mind, and spirit.
Take a deep breath. Did you have another thing you were going to add?
I was just going to say, sometimes as parents, we say to our kids, don't get your hopes up, because we don't want them to, we are scared of their fear, that
It's that fear of disappointment, and,
We don't
this
wanna
idea
feel
that
it.
and
We're
this
gonna
idea
feel
that
it.
disappointment is like the worst thing that could happen.
and you know what? I've done that. And I wish I could take all those words back. But really, it's okay. Your kids are going to get through even disappointment, and loving them through it will be all right. I know it's going to be hard. I know it's been hard for me as a parent, but I just wanted to say that was one that we sometimes say in that particular round. But it's okay to have your hopes up, and it's okay to fail, and it's okay to get up and try again, and it's okay to do what you want to do. So, hey, I am so excited that you all joined us here today, and
We're done working. Now we can open the champagne.
and now, yeah, so there you, and we got a cake.
Oh, I got champagne.
And we got a cake, so
No.
we got to get busy here. But
Thank you so
yes,
much
thank you very
for
much.
For joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to get your copy of
Oops,
Building a Legacy of Love, Thriving the Sandwich Generation.
I think it's in the comments there. But anyway, thank you so much, and have a great week. Have a great week. Have a great day. Thank you, and I appreciate everybody showing up. It's been really nice to share this time with you.
It is. It is. It's fun to celebrate with friends, even if we can't do it in the same room at the moment. But this allows us to do it with folks around the world.
Yeah.
Not sure where everyone is. I know Wendy's in England. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you for being willing to clear whatever might stop you from building a legacy of love in your life, whether that's with your family, but also with the world at large by sharing your gifts. Thank you for doing that.
Yep, thank you very much. Really humbled, really happy that you're here. And thanks, Brad, for 25 years.
Yes.
We're going to do another
Thank
25.
you for marrying me.
Yeah, you're welcome. See how easy that was? All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
How do I stop?